Virgil, Gus Grissom, Edward White II, and Roger Schaff were the main crew for the Apollo 1 mission. If they had been successful in their mission, they would have been the first manned mission in the Command Serve module, a huge step in the path toward a lunar landing. Sadly, their mission never made it off the ground when their spacecraft was engulfed in flames during a routine plugs out test, and the 3 astronauts perished. Don't subscribe just yet. I will earn your subscription by the end of this video, and don't leave a like just yet. Watch the video all the way through, and then if you actually like the video by the end, make sure to leave a like. Alright, let's dive right into one of the most tragic failures in NASA's history. Devastatingly, Grissom had voiced concerns about the flight to his son, who almost expected his father to not go through with the mission. NASA was able to correct their mistakes and make future Apollo missions safer. The full investigation after the fire led to the conclusion that there were numerous problems with Apollo 1 before the fire. According to the NASA summary, a combination of combustible materials throughout the craft, exposed wiring, and the pressurized oxygen in the cabin acting as an accelerant caused the fire to break out. However, these were not the only issues with the spacecraft. The bad wiring in particular was noticeable and concerning before the test, and one of the astronauts had even complained about it. Gus Grissom kept his complaints behind the scenes, but put up with the risks due to fear of being kicked off the mission. Another major problem with Apollo 1 was the communication. Just before the fire erupted, Grissom complained, "How are we going to get to the moon if we can't talk between 2 or 3 buildings?" A minute later, he gave the call of alarm that the spacecraft was on fire. In an effort to remain positive in the face of tragedy, some of those working for NASA at the time of the incident said that the fire, however distressing, was the reason they were able to land on the moon a short 2 years later. Chris Kraft, the flight director for Apollo 1, told ARS Technica, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, "Unless the fire had happened, I think it's very doubtful that we would have ever landed on the moon. And I know damn well we wouldn't have gotten there during the 1960s. There were just too many things wrong. Too many management problems, too many people problems, and too many hardware problems across the whole program." John Tribe, Apollo's spacecraft manager, echoed similar statements to Motherboard. "I have a personal feeling that without their loss in 1967, we might not have gotten to the moon. Literally. Because we have learned from that accident, made a safer program." The headline of the Washington Post article 3 days after the tragic fire read, "It looks like the inside of a furnace." The reporter, who was able to see the inside of the spacecraft, described it as a darkened, dingy compartment. Its walls are covered with a slate gray deposit of smoke and soot. Its floor and couch frame are covered with ashes and debris. The fire that killed the 3 astronauts consumed the spacecraft in minutes, and by the time those outside the command module were able to open it, which was at least 15 minutes after the last radio contact from the astronauts inside, it was much too late. It was reported that the three astronauts had suffocated within seconds. In an interview with ARS Technica, flight director Chris Kraft recalled hearing the pilot's screams for help as he and the rest of ground control struggled to open the hatch of the spacecraft. Under ideal circumstances, the complex hatch could take 90 seconds to open. With an inferno blazing in the capsule, it took roughly 5 minutes, by which time all three men were long dead. I heard their screaming voices in the cockpit of the spacecraft. I heard them scream that they were on fire. I heard them scream, "Get me out of here." And then there was dead silence on the pad. Within minutes, we knew they were dead, and we were in deep, serious trouble. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy promised America that the country would land on the moon and safely bring back the astronauts who did so. By the end of the decade, the political pressure was felt by everyone working on Apollo 1 and the rest of the Apollo program. NASA's haste in beating Russia to the moon could have led to them knowingly overlooked safety issues. The faulty wiring that started the fire had been bundled using machinery instead of by hand as a cost-cutting move, which left the capsule open to short circuits. All in all, the spacecraft arrived with more than 100 significant engineering orders that had not yet been fixed. The crew and astronauts knew there were issues, but the astronauts didn't complain for fear of being kicked off the flight and giving up their chance to advance the mission to land the first man on the moon. There is no doubt that the way Grissom, Gaff, and White died was tragic and gruesome. Possibly the only reassuring fact from the Apollo 1 incident report is that they died quickly. The findings concluded that the men died from suffocation due to the amount of toxic gas in the air from the fire, and that they almost certainly went unconscious before they died. And before all of this, something very strange to mention. Before this whole incident happened was that an oddly similar accident happened in Russia. 6 years ago, before the Apollo 1 fire, there was Valentin Bondarenko. I'm so sorry. In 1961, Soviet astronaut Valentin was undergoing a routine exercise in what was called the Chamber of Silence, a pressurized chamber intended to test the astronaut's mental stability. As he was signaled that the test was over, Val wiped some adhesive off his face with rubbing alcohol. Can you guess what he did next? He then flung the alcohol-soaked cotton pad, and it landed on a hot plate coil, and that started a fire. Similarly to Apollo 1, the high concentration of oxygen in the chamber allowed the fire to spread rapidly. Although technicians were able to open the capsule and pull out Val almost immediately, he had already suffered serious burns, and he died in the hospital the next morning. And that's it for this video. I know it's a short video, but I have more videos on this channel which you could go watch, so please go watch last Thursday's video. I think it's very good. I absolutely love the Philadelphia Experiment. I think that case is amazing, and I think more people need to know about it if you don't already know. So go over there, go watch it, and if I earned your subscription, make sure to subscribe. Guys, we are literally so close to 100 subscribers, and that is the goal, is to hit 100 subscribers before August, and we are literally, as I am recording, 9 subscribers away. Thank you guys so much for the support. It seriously means so much to me. So amazing. Thank you guys so much. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video and you made it all the way to the end, make sure to leave a like. It really helps me out to let me know you want to see more just like this. And let me know in the comments down below what next. What should I talk about next? Because I am honestly running low on ideas of what to talk about next. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And I will catch you guys in my next video.